The dead are touring again. We have Dead& Company at the Sphere doing a run of shows, and it's that time of year again. It's the season. Can you smell it? I can smell it, man. The Dead are playing again. You love to see it. You love to see it. What's up, guys? My name's Dylanzachary, and I'm a graphic designer and music enthusiast. Today, we got some awesome bumper stickers I designed for Dead& Company live at the Sphere in 2025. It's the second year. It's the second run of shows that they're performing, and I'm super stoked. So last year, I got to go see the Dead perform at the Sphere, and it was absolutely mind-blowing. I got this really dope shirt. I don't know if you can see it. I got this really cool Fear and Loathing inspired t-shirt from there, and it was an absolute ripper of a show. If anybody loves Dead& Company or the Grateful Dead, I highly recommend going to the Sphere and watching the visuals and being immersed in the music. They have haptic seatings. Your back vibrates, your butt vibrates as they're hitting the bass drums and all that fun stuff. Drums in space is mind-altering. You don't even need any substances to enjoy it. It's amazing. The visuals, insane. Over 20,000 speakers in that arena. It's strictly an arena built for music and music lovers only. It's the only one to ever exist. All the other ones are built for sports, and then music is included into it. This is the only one built for music. I highly recommend going to the Sphere, stopping what you're doing, buying a plane ticket, finding a hotel, and going and checking out the Sphere with Dead & Company specifically because their visuals are outstanding. Go see Dead & Company live at the Sphere. It's mind-blowing. Sadly, I'm not going this year because money and house and life happens, but I did get to see him last year, and I'm so glad I got to check that off my bucket list because after seeing Dead & Company for 8 years straight now, it was a nice run. It was a great run, and I'm happy to say that I've seen him 15 times, and I got to see him all around the United States, and Las Vegas was definitely one of the best shows that I have seen them at thus far. Secondary, I saw him in 2023 at Citi Field on the second night, on the floor, like 15 people back from the stage, and that was probably one of my best shows ever. It was also very emotional too because I knew the Dead were doing the final tour. That was emotional because I didn't know if I was ever going to experience his music again, and Dead & Company and the Grateful Dead have, been a huge part of my life for a long time now, and I've had a lot of great, amazing experiences at Dead & Company shows. So with that being said, go see them live at the Sphere. We got some awesome designs to talk about here. I did a bumper sticker last year before I went to the Sphere. I'll put that up on the screen right here, right now. I did just a quick little shakedown bumper sticker. So this year I decided to create 3 designs, do like a bumper sticker design, kind of like I did last year, but obviously do something different. So got 3 bumper stickers I'm going to go through. I'm going to show you how the process went. Did like a little speed run here, and we're going to go through it. We'll talk about it. Please make sure you like, subscribe, and comment on this video because it helps so much. We're trying to reach 1,000 subscribers. Yeah, so let's get into the design. So I have 3 designs that I came up on a little sketch pad right here. So I took these designs and kind of just tried to figure out how I was going to bring them to life as a design in Adobe. As you can see here, right now we are creating almost a sphere-like shape. I wanted to do like these typical world globe lines. Sometimes you see these this style of globe, like economy brands and environmental brands and stuff like that to represent the sphere in this exact piece. We picked a straight wavy style text, gave it a little stroke around it and everything. One of the Dead quotes that are constantly said around the community is, "I need a miracle." So that's what this slogan is just a takeoff of I need a miracle, so I need a spherical. So what happens in the Dead culture, some people, before you go into the show, you'll see people holding their one finger up. That entails that somebody's looking for a ticket. In the culture, some people buy an extra ticket to then let somebody get into the show. That's kind of like where that comes from. So I kind of took it on the sphere route because it kind of sounded cool, play of words. I need a spherical every day. Kicks back to a Grateful Dead song, which is I need a miracle every day. Yeah, so we just got the words up there with the stroke and everything. I need a spherical every day down at the bottom right-hand corner. And then we got the Dead dealie that I'm working with right here. The globe in the background to represent the sphere itself. And I just put this yellow gradient on over top of it. I wanted something really bright, something refreshing looking, almost like that's why I kind of chose this text too, instead of more of like a psychedelic text, which most people would probably represent the Grateful Dead to as psychedelia. I wanted a straightforward text that wasn't like your typical Helvetica straightforward blocky font. Something with a little wave. Right now I'm giving it a little drop shadow in the background just to give it a little more depth, a little more 3D look to it. But yeah, so I Need a Spherical was one of the first ones I thought of when I was, initially doing the sketches and thinking of a bumper sticker design. Now we're on to the next one here. This is the second bumper sticker that I thought of. This one was based on another Grateful Dead song called Truckin'. One of the lines in the song is, "The bus came by and I got on," and that's where it all began. So that's kind of where I was going with this. And if you know any psychedelic culture or the Grateful Dead's culture, you know about Ken Kesey and the Merry Pranksters and how they drove a bus across the country from California to New York City in a bus called Further back in like 1965. So I found this really awesome picture of Ken Kesey on top of Further way back in the day, and I grabbed that picture on Google, dropped it into Illustrator, and then I image traced the whole image. And then now here you see me going through and just kind of fine tuning it to where I get rid of all the backgrounds. Like there was buildings in the picture and everything, and like I really fine tuned it just so I could get the bus in there and I can get Ken Kesey on top of said bus. Just make it a little more cohesive and less bunch of crazy colors all scattered around and just kind of not really making much sense. I'll let the music play out and just let you enjoy me messing with all the shapes and everything and getting it fine-tuned to where I need it to be. We basically just fine-tuned the bus, as you just saw right there. We fine-tuned it to make it look exactly the way I wanted it to. I wanted the bus to be the focal point, nothing in the background or anything. Ken Kesey on top, which I think is a nice additive, with Ken Kesey being with the whole Grateful Dead background and everything, and him being a part of the early 60s acid tests, and the bus Further, and, Neil Cassidy being a part of the Grateful Dead culture, and Ken Kesey and the Merry Pranksters culture. It all ties in together really nicely, so... And then we're taking that phrase from Truckin', "The bus came by and I got on." I found a really nice psychedelic style fonts that I have, and I, picked out the right one that I thought would fit perfectly, and then I just added that on there. I like how everything's like very squiggled and psychedelic, and it just fits the vibe very, very nicely, especially with the crazy bus, because Further has so many colors and such a wide variety of a color palette. Now, I did dilute the colors a little bit, which I do bring out later in the Photoshop side of things. The bus is very diluted in this specific picture. In the real picture, the bus is very vibrant. But yeah, so here you see me adding a steely and everything. Now I'm just kind of changing the stroke and all that fun stuff, kind of fine-tuning it to where I need it to be. Usually the steely is a very bright red and a very bright blue. With this one, I wanted to match like the diluted colors of the Further bus. So I just grabbed a blue and a red from the Further bus. That way it's kind of more of a darker blue and a darker red. I had the text here, change the text to that darker blue, and then just kind of go through and then add the bus, the and then the on with those different colors there. Have the gradient in the background to kind of make it, blend pretty well from the red to like a yellowish white color. Like I said, I change a lot of this down the line in the Photoshop edits that I do. Here is the third and final piece that I do. So I wanted to do like this Dead End, Grateful Dead inspired piece. So like the Dead End street signs, as you can see here, the reference I'm pulling up here. There's a page I follow on Instagram that it's called Dead End, and they sell merchandise and stuff like that. And I always thought that was a very cool play on the Grateful Dead, universe, if you will. Because Dead End signs are everywhere around the United States and everything. The Grateful Dead attached to it, and it's kind of cool. So I took this Dead End sign and was like, okay, let's make a bumper sticker out of this. So we got the Dead End sign here with the big old steely, got the super, super bright yellow, and then I put Dead End real big, and then kind of add so we got the Dead End sign real big here. We got the steely in the middle of it instead of the Dead End in the middle, just to kind of show the two differences here, the fact that it's a Grateful Dead related piece. And then we put Dead End real big on the bumper sticker. Dancing Bear in the middle there to kind of give it some more Grateful Dead inspired vibes here. But yeah, just went with a straight up boxed out Helvetica style type, really bold in your face. And you see me here, I'm messing with the Dancing Bear. Got rid of all the color because I just wanted the black and white just like everything else on here. I put the Dancing Bear in the middle there, kind of just messing with the type and everything, making sure everything lines up properly and looks really good. The Dead End one is more of a simple piece, but I think it spoke a lot because of just the relation to the Dead End. You see Dead End street signs all the the time. So Dead End and, the Grateful Dead. It's like the best of both worlds. I saved all the bumper stickers and I threw them into Photoshop here, and this is where I start adding those sticker slaps onto the Dead End sign and everything. And I also start messing with the colors and all that fun stuff. Start messing with the hues, start messing with the levels, adding some textures to some of them, because textures are one of my favorite things to do when, you're designing a nice piece and you want a specific vibe, or you want like it to have a certain grain effect. So here you see me adding this really weird, bubbly, fun Sphere 2025 type here on top of the sticker. I masked it. Now I'm getting rid of it with my brush tool, just kind of making sure and fine tuning each thing so it looks like it's ripped up a little bit. Now I could have definitely wrinkled the text a little bit more using the warp tool, which I probably should have did, but at this point I was already hours into this project and I was just trying to hit the finish line. And once you shrink the sticker down to such a small, small pixel level like how I just did right there, you can't really tell that it's like wavy or anything like that. It definitely would add to the effect of it. If you were to zoom in, you would see like more like waves or crinkles or stuff like that. I was just trying to basically get the point out and get it across. Now here you see me adding another steely here. Yeah, so you see me messing with the layers and stuff here, and I'm just kind of figuring out which color here was going to be working for the steely and everything. And then I threw a dancing bear over top of that green one there. Nothing too serious with that one, and I just shrunk it down and put it over top the dead end there. And now I'm messing with the, seeing if I needed to overlay what would bring it together a little bit more. I threw a texture over top of it, trying to pick out of my texture collection what would really fit this specific piece. Okay, so here we go with the final designs from Illustrator. So this is I Need a Spherical, and you got the orange and the blue, you got the black on the bottom right with the everyday and the steely, and then you got the I Need a Spherical with the sphere in the background. This one's the bus came by and I got on, with that gradient in the background. Once again, the steely, the text you see with all the, the Grateful Dead colors, the Americana colors there, and then the further bus. Here's the Illustrator Dead End design, very straight to the point. Got all my ideas out on Illustrator and got it done. And then we throw those in Photoshop, start having fun with colors and textures and stuff. So here we have the I Need a Spherical, absolutely blown out with a texture and added some awesome color to there. This I can almost see like oil style sticker. You know how like some of them have like a rainbow effect to them, and like if you turn them in the light and everything, the colors start changing. That's how I see this sticker. I absolutely love it every which way. It just makes the globe pop so much more. It makes all the text pop so much more. It almost gives it this futuristic vibe to it. I could see this on a Volkswagen bus, going to the next gig and just looking great on the back of a car. I love this one, and I love how the colors and the texture made it pop so much more. Bus came by and I got on. Nothing really changed here from the Illustrator version compared to the Photoshop version. I just added a nice little grain to it, added a texture feature, made it more like paper-like, vintage look, a little grainy. Print it up. I wonder how it would look if it would add or take away from the design. From looking at it from this perspective and this angle, it makes it pop so much more. It gives it a fade around the corners there. It just makes everything look so much more vibrant. I also added a hue and saturation in Photoshop just to make, the blues and the reds come out just a little bit more saturated. Make the bus pop a lot more than it was in the Illustrator version. Yeah, overall, this is exactly how my mind thought about it, and I love it a lot. This is one of my favorite ones right here. This one, the Dead End. Once again, threw a texture over top of it, kind of made it look like a worn out street sign at this point. This one is probably my favorite one out of all of them. They're all great in their own right. The spherical one's beautiful color-wise now. Bus came by and I got on one is great because I love the further bus and I love the little Ken Kesey sitting on top of the bus. That's really cool. But this one, the texture added so much to the street sign, gave it so much more life. Those stickers in the top right-hand corner, they look perfect. They look like they would absolutely be slapped on an actual street sign if it was used as a street sign. The little street sign design I did with the steely in it, that's really cool. I think that adds a lot of flavor to it to kind of tie in the Dead End style there. And then, the dancing bear just kind of gives it kind of takes up that negative space there, kind of just fills it out perfectly, makes it really emphasize Dead End, if you will. That's it. Those are the designs. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you leave a comment, like, and subscribe and all that fun stuff, because like I said in the beginning of the video, it helps out so much. I really appreciate it. Guys, go see Dead & Company. I know it's not the Grateful Dead. The Grateful Dead diehards out there, they will fight me all day long about it, but I'm telling you, I've seen the Dead. I've seen Dead & Company 15 times. Sadly, I was not alive for the Grateful Dead, so I never got to see the actual Dead with Jerry Garcia, but I've seen Dead & Company 15 times, and it was mind-blowing every single time. Each performance is different. The solos are different. The vibe is different every single time. Go check out Shakedown Street. It's an experience that I think everybody in the world should experience at least one time, and we just got to be thankful they're still out there kicking it and doing it. And yeah, man. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you're going to the Sphere, make sure you let me know down in the comments, because I'm kind of jealous, and maybe, who knows, they're playing till May, so I might just make an appearance in Vegas. Be safe out there. Much love, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.